Hello! So, I accidentally skipped a scene here, because, well, let's just say as soon as I started the thing, a bunch of chaos broke loose here, so I'll show that scene again in a minute. Basically, it was just the scene of going back, and, like, as soon as you try to leave Ilmorka, you end up having that scene of Murden getting recruited. So, at any rate, we'll do that next. However, for now, it's time for all the rookies to train. There we go. Hopefully this party will be fine. Little bit iffy, but I guess we'll see. So, I wasn't originally going to put these two casters in here, but kind of felt like a good idea, because I'm not 100% on these other guys being able to handle this thing. Because I was just going to have the two rogues, Murden, and the ninja do it, but not so much. And ninjas from now on will be called scouts. He's a scout. Because that's what they are in the story, so that's what I'm going to consider them. So, first priority on this particular spawn is always the healer. They're right close by. Crap, it's the one with two of them. So she's going to run off. Ideally, you would get the second round before she can get her second turn off, but yeah. Go for healers first, because in the smaller parties here, one healer will be just equivalent to two other units as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, probably going to have the casters hold off everyone else, while the bulk of the party goes and deals with that whole situation. Actually, I think I'm going to hire me another lizard. Why not? Plus that should kind of even out the count a little bit here. Does this do anything? Poison. Right. I don't know why I always forget that they have the poison knives now, but they have poison knives. Alright, let's see how you hold up. Reasonably, but terribly. So he's very underleveled for this thing, but I'm hoping he'll at least take a few hits. Main idea here is just to get him at least half the level of everyone else, and then it'll be possible to move on to bigger and better things. I mean, all things considered, he's still going to be fairly bulky, so that'll work out. Alright, gonna need you to not do that, please. That's funny. Lately I've been listening to this one particular cover over and over and over. This cover of the AOT theme. The Attack on Titan theme. And this guy basically went and did a metal cover of the thing, which is... Okay, so first off, apparently there was an English version at some point. I was not aware of this, but apparently there was an English version. And the hilarious part is, he made one, except with a way better translation, and way better wording, to the point where the original is just, like, it's just hilariously sad by comparison. I don't mean like the original super catchy version, I mean like the original English version. Super catchy version is still super catchy. So, oh, by the way, little one's up and about today, so got lots of happy noises in the background. But yeah, no, it's weird because, you know, obviously the thing probably took off largely due to how catchy that theme was. But, I don't know. I keep thinking lately, how nuts would it be if it got picked up by some, like, random, gritty, like, Russian studio or something? I don't know, if anyone looking at this would have ever seen any kind of weird, like just dark European movies and whatnot. But man, there's some really well-done movies with bad endings there. And honestly, from watching it, I felt like that is one of those things that really, really needed a bad ending. Like, there's just no way that situation winds up in anything good. And that's kind of the hilarious part, because they basically just get around that by saying, oh, by the way, spoilers. Like, oh, frickin' he's got powers or whatever, and honestly, that's always the point at which I stop watching anything from that general category. Because it's always the same freaking stupid thing. Like, they got so determined, they got powers. Stop giving everyone powers, dude. Can you not have a protagonist with just, like, they're just normal? They don't need power. They really don't need that every single time. It bugs me to no end. Like, it's not that I hate the stories or whatever else. A lot of them have a really cool setup, and then they always give somebody powers. Like, honestly, I was really curious to see where the whole thing would go. Like, okay, this is a super dire situation, you know? Maybe it'll be one of those ones that actually has the friggin' balls to give it a bad ending, because it is a very dire situation. Actually, an interesting analysis that I saw a while ago was basically going over the food situation there, and honestly, without a breach or whatever else, they would have been pretty well fine with how much food they had and everything. There should not actually have been a food shortage in the first place. But, anyway. Yeah, so point being, if there was just essentially Jurassic Park set in the last... Jurassic Park set in the apocalypse, cool, you know? That is a really cool setup. Like, no... We're not going to do it that way. Actually, the way that I was really hoping that they would go with it is like, okay, friggin' guy gets eaten, right? Instead of getting powers, he just stays dead. Which is fine, you know, he, like, represents all the friggin' angry, excessively, like, boastful, you know, kids running off to join the army or whatever. And, like, okay, so that happened. Pretty much all of the main, you know, group there gets wiped out. And then it just goes on to another group. It's just like different groups trying different things to try and make it, and then just whether it ends up going for a good ending, bad ending, whatever, just like have this rotating story going through all kinds of different stuff. I don't know, I think it would have been really cool. But never really gonna happen because friggin' merchandising. But oh well. Which kind of sucks because it's in a really unique position, wherein essentially they, you know, they're able to do a lot of things that would otherwise require a lot of different special effects and whatever else on basically an animation budget, so, you know, can get a lot more out of a lot less. Kind of the equivalent of modding with movies. But such is life. Always gotta give them frickin' powers. Why is it so hard not to do that? Don't think it's such a huge thing to ask, you know? If I have pissed you off, I apologize. Like I said, it's not that I don't like it. Actually, I mean, I went and watched whatever there was. I'm not going to go and read into it. I did gloss over the wiki as far as figuring out future plot points, but after that point, really couldn't be bothered anymore. Such is life. I just can't really stand it when they make characters just better just because. I mean, like, if it's maybe one or two, sure. But when they suddenly decide, like, look, everyone's a special little unicorn, it's a bit of a problem. Like, they got the nerdy character just suddenly becoming a master strategist out of nowhere. Sure, I can buy it. Why not? Like, they got the girl character suddenly becoming better. Literally, they only justify it because she's a Japanese person. Like, okay, that's not putting down everybody else. Sure, it's like that's the reason she's just way better than everyone. Okay, rude. Quite rude. Ah, well. Such is life. Alright, let's go ahead and probably do this thing. But yeah, no. Original point. Friggin' metal cover of that. Really, really good. What's going on over there? Giant smiles? Hell yeah, giant smiles. Alright. Might actually get out of this without anyone losing a life. Oh! And by the way, cool thing. Just spoke to Rakes not too long ago. Sounds like a permadeath mode may be possible. Like an instant permadeath mode, like KOL kind of stuff. Maybe. Apparently, that's... whatever assembly is, it requires that. I don't know what that is exactly, but apparently it is a thing that is a possibility at some point requiring some manner of stuff I don't understand, so... cool things. Yeah. There we go. Right, Bane's silenced. That sucks. You can still smack this lady with a stick, though. Yay! Oh. And then there was sadness. Right. Smack him with the thingy. Hit him with all that Evil Dead juice. By the way, apparently Ash vs. Evil Dead actually is on Netflix now. I don't know when that happened, but yesterday the wife and I were looking through for something to watch. It was on there. And like, I was like, okay, that, we definitely have to watch that. And like, what is that thing? Apparently forgetting that she had actually seen it at some point. It was like, it's amazing, that's what it is, we have to watch it. I don't know if she actually liked it, but dang it if it's not awesome. Like, it's basically Evil Dead exactly as it was. Except made into a show. It's really good. If you liked Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, all that, it's there. Man. Still thinking about that, like, gritty European version of AOT now, though. I should point out, there's a very big difference between, like, the gritty Western version and, like, gritty European. So, gritty Western's, like, everybody makes it in the end, but there were a bunch of problems that happened, and, you know, everything's generally not doing so hot. Gritty European's more like 3 people made it to the end, horribly disfigured, and they're completely screwed anyway. Like, if you ever want a good example of the gritty European version of anything, look up the Little Mermaid, like the original version. Instead of succeeding, basically fails and gets turned into sea foam. No happiness to it whatsoever. It's just like, no, they screwed up. What did you expect? This plan was stupid. My comrade fish got turned into sea foam. That's how that works. And honestly, it's a nice thing though, because when you see a bunch of stories with bad endings, then suddenly, you know, you see a good ending and it's that much better. Because, you know, there's that better feeling of, like, you know, here's all the potential ways this could have gone wrong, but it didn't, so cool, you know? It makes you appreciate those more, I feel. Well, that time when you accidentally counter, misfire, and shoot your friend in the back of the head, I guess. That's bound to happen too. There we go. Muriel goes bye-bye. There's no way this is hitting. That's not even the shot I want to take. But yeah, so like one really good example, there was this movie, I can't remember the name of, that an ex showed me like friggin' 2 years ago or whatever. No, it was like 3 years ago, what am I saying? But yeah, so... okay, it's basically like a mix of Men in Black and Blade. Like, this guy just gets kind of recruited out of nowhere, and they're like, we're pretty sure, you know, you're awesome for this, like, vampire killing job or whatever. So, guy, you know, realizes that he's kind of crap at it, but he figures, okay, whatever, maybe they're onto something. And it finally turns out the only reason that they actually hired him in the first place was, like, his son, like, his illegitimate son that he completely didn't know about. Pretty much he just got someone pregnant at a party or something, and then just completely didn't know about this kid. Turns out they're leading the other side, so they figured, hey, you know, maybe he came from a good place or something, maybe we should put this guy in charge, and he was utterly incompetent. So they pretty much all just get slowly picked off until finally it's just like him and his kid left. And he's just like sitting there realizing like, oh crap, there's nothing I can do. The world is basically ending. Because they picked the wrong guy for this. Oh man, it's just like, it's a bad ending, but it's such an awesome one. I'm sure I misunderstood something because, hell, it was all like in subtitles and like all in Russian and whatever, but man, it's like, as far as bad endings go, gotta appreciate it, you know? There's some really cool ones out there. What can I say? I'm a sucker for a good bad ending. I think that's why I like so many of these runs, to be under weirdly specific circumstances, to have some bizarre last stand to, like... Oh. Quiet you. I should probably check real quick what her condition is. I mean, it's still the same. I can't really check the hard numbers on that. But she didn't outright leave, so... I think mostly she's gonna keep whining for a while. Alright, so I still have only these two. They're here. I mean, they're just around. Gonna keep these around because I want to have a bunch of hoplites with spears. That's what this guy's whole shtick is, too. So I was hoping to have 3 hoplites. You know. Eventually. Because that's kind of what I want to do, but I can't get them yet. Because no hoplites can has. Oh well. Anyway, sounds like the next update is gonna be... Oh, right. The scene. I forgot. Is there new talk? No. There we are. Oh, this is rickety as hell, I gotta say. So he's in a coma. Yeah. Honestly, he would have been, like, had he just stuck around. I mean, their whole team was right there. They could have done something. Yeah, but wrong on both counts, actually. So he joins the front, probably. Yep. So they're basically talking about, oh, he's gonna be dead by tomorrow. That's why we're gonna take like 3 days to get there. Whoops. And it's actually like 15 days or so, I think, so far. I was going back and forth trying to get that rando fight. There's Boyd. Any darn ways. So, see you next time then. Oh yeah, so that next update is apparently like... Well, at the time this will be going up like a week and a half off. So, gonna be seeing that soon. So, that'll be awesome. Anyway, see you then.